So today is super cool. So I'm going to show you two Dodge Challenger SRT Widebody Hellcat red eyes. That's 797 horsepower in each one of absolutely kick-ass muscle car. Now these have just arrived, so they're still in left-hand drive, but within a month's time we're going to convert them to right-hand drive and ship them out to two very excited customers. Now, a couple of interesting things. These are all ADR compliant, so these two units are going to go to Australia. So there are two super cool dudes or dudettes who are going to be driving these bad boys in a month or two's time. The other really interesting thing is that these are not brand new. These are actually 2 years old. So you probably know that Dodge ceased production of the Challenger in December 2023, so it's become super hard to find brand new ones. We can still find brand new ones. In fact, I've got 3 jailbreaks on their way to us at the moment if anybody wants one. But we do convert vehicles, like your Dodge Challenger, from left-hand drive to right-hand drive that are up to 3 years old. So it's very possible for us to be able to buy you. We source it in North America, we ship it here, we convert it from left-hand drive to right-hand drive, and then we ship it to any one of the 40 countries around the world. So there is an absolute reality that you can buy yourself an absolutely iconic muscle car, whether it's something like a Dodge Challenger, which, I mean, this video in so many ways is pointless. You know what they are stunning, they are absolutely incredible. But equally, maybe you like the Camaro, the Z01 Camaro, and we'll probably do a heads-up video between the Dodge Challenger and the Z01 Camaro, but these are absolutely incredible. Clearly V8, supercharged, as I said before, 797 horsepower, 6.2 litre Hemi high output engine. These things, when they start up, they absolutely roar. They are mean, fast, insanely iconic. So here is the heart of the beast. It's a 6.2 litre high output Hemi V8. It's supercharged, so it's got the 2.4 litre supercharger in it. As I said before, 797 horsepower, delivers 707 foot-pound of torque. These things are absolutely insane. It's the sort of vehicle that will do 0 to 100 in 3.7 seconds. They are pure, unadulterated muscle cars, there is no doubt. These are sort of second or third from the top, so you can step up to the SRT Superstock, where you go from 797 to, I don't know, 810 horsepower, so bugger all, or you can go to the SRT Demon, but they're incredibly hard to find. But honestly, nearly 800 horsepower of absolute power. Unless you're an amazing driver and not driving in the rain, it's hard to put these things through their paces. They are that quick. They are absolutely spectacular. Let's go for a walk around and look at some of the key features. So the Challenger, it's a complex product range really. There are 11 different vehicles, from the SXT, which is the entry level, which you wouldn't buy, all the way up to the Superstock and the Demon 170. So there's 11 different models that you can choose from. Most people sort of start at an RT and go upwards, and there is no doubt that the Hellcat variants, red eye, jailbreak, etc., is where most people want to be at. So there's, yeah, as I say, 11 different platforms through the range. Most of people look sort of RT or Hellcat upwards. You can get 14 different color exteriors. I mean, one of the things with Dodge is that there are about 1 billion different factory options that you can get across the vehicle. So, I mean, and a good example here, clearly we've got tall red and the white, but you can also go for the darkened hood and the strip at the top. You can go for your Mopar stripes. There are just so many different options, but broadly, 11 vehicles through the range, 14 exterior options, several different interior options, from cloth or leather-bound seats. These have all got 20-inch rims on them, 20 by 11, so they are, well, honestly, it's what you need to be able to hold the sheer power that these bad boys do. You can also tell always that it's a Hellcat, because you've got your Hellcat logos on your front fender. And if you look closely, and we'll zoom in, it's probably easier on the white unit here, you can always tell that she's a red eye, because there it is there. But iconic, you know, a Challenger doesn't need an introduction. Honestly, it's all about brake horsepower and what you're able to do with it. Clearly they're a 2-door coupe. They've got back seats, but you've got to be very small or have a little bit of shopping. They have a boot, but really not a huge boot. Certainly a bigger boot than the Z01 Camaro, so you're going to fit a week's worth of shopping in there, but you don't buy a muscle car for 5 seats. You don't buy a muscle car for the boot space. You buy a muscle car because the thing goes extraordinarily quickly. So let's come back to it. 2-year-old vehicles, so you are saving a fair bit of money by not buying brand new ones. We can still brand new units. So you can see here, this is still in left-hand drive. So quite literally, the last couple of days, it arrived from North America. We sourced them for our customers, ship them here from North America to Sri Lanka. 4 or 5 weeks they'll be converted from left-hand drive to right-hand drive, back in a box and then shipped out to our customers around the world. So if you happen to live in the UK and you want to drive a Dodge Challenger, done. If you happen to want to drive one of these bad boys in Australia, again, done, ready to go. And you can pick up here, and you can see in here, these have got the leather trim seats, so that's one of the big options when it comes to the interior. But again, Challengers or indeed Camaros, you don't necessarily buy them for the interior, you don't necessarily buy them for their driver technology, although these things have got great technology, 8.5-inch touchscreens, memory seats in them, those sorts of bits and pieces. But it's not a luxury car, it's not a family car, it's not a car to go shopping in, although it will do all of those things as long as your family is quite small. But these are absolutely a muscle car. And from somebody like ourselves from Auto Group, who for the last 30 years has been converting these things from left-hand drive to right-hand drive, you can actually make your muscle dream come true. There's actually a couple of things worthwhile pointing out, and I guess this is where the differences come to. So quite clearly, we've converted 4,500 vehicles over the last 30 years, and we've exported them all the way around the world. And it's complex engineering, converting a vehicle from left-hand drive to right-hand drive. It becomes even more complex though when you've got nearly 800 horsepower of absolute raw power. That is where your steering conversion and your transformation from left-hand drive to right-hand drive, that is where you don't want to dick around with the backyard Harry. It needs to be engineered correctly, because these will do 300 plus kilometers per hour until you get caught by the police. They are super quick, 0 to 100 in 3.7 seconds. They are an absolute beast. So you want to ensure that the power that's in this engine, which is controlled quite clearly by the steering wheel, braking systems, etc., that we're involved in, or indeed anybody who does the left-hand drive to right-hand drive conversion is involved in. You want to make absolutely bloody sure that the engineers know what they're doing, which is why we've got a team of 30 odd people here, and all their focus is on converting or engineering and then working with our production crew to convert them from left-hand drive to right-hand drive. So if you happen to live in Australia, UK, Indonesia, India, Malaysia, South Africa, anywhere in the world, the 65 odd countries that are right-hand drive, if you've ever dreamed of owning a muscle car, and whether it is something like these absolutely spectacular Hellcats, and they are, the wide body fender flares, there is just something about them, or whether you want to drive a Camaro like the Z01 behind me. So if you want a muscle car, you live in a right-hand drive country, then you know what you need to do. First thing, subscribe to our channel, that would be really, really cool. But give us a call, hit us up on WhatsApp, drop us an email, talk to us about what vehicle you want. And the first question often is, are you a Challenger guy or are you a Camaro guy or girl? There's your first sort of choice, and then we start to look at what models do you want, horsepower, does your budget stretch to a new one if we can find it, or do we need to look for a 1-year-old or 2-year-old or a 3-year-old vehicle? What color do you want, what trim options you want? And as I said before, when it comes to the Challengers, there is just a ridiculous number of factory options that are available, so it can get quite complex, but we find the exact right vehicle for you, source it out of North America, ship it here to where I live with my team of 180 people. We then convert the vehicle from left-hand drive to right-hand drive, pop it back in container, and bang, around the world. So again, Australia, UK, Cyprus, South Africa, Zimbabwe. If you've ever dreamt of driving a right-hand drive muscle car, that's what we do. We do it every day of the week. So we will drop another video in about a month's time when we've converted these bad boys to right-hand drive, but they are stunning, and there is no doubt when you start these things up, you know you've got a Hellcat on your hands. All right, couldn't get away quite clearly without sitting in this thing and starting it up. Honestly, it's quite funny. There is any excuse in the world to always move these things because of this. Listen to this. That is a bonging of a door, but that's 797 horsepower of absolute cranking kick-ass muscle power. But obviously this is left-hand drive, so as everybody knows who follows our channel and subscribes, so if you haven't subscribed, click the button. But within 4 weeks, this vehicle is going to be converted from left-hand drive to right-hand drive, put back in a box and shipped around the world. But there's a couple of interesting things to pick up here. So you can check all the specs on the vehicles quite clearly, but red eye, wide body, all those sorts of things. This is a used vehicle, so this is only, well, it's got 6,400 kilometers for whatever it is. A 2-year-old vehicle is pretty insane. So we're able to source very specific vehicles for people. So in this case, custom wants a particular trim, a red eye, they want a particular color, we're able to source that. So this vehicle, as I said before, arrived a couple of days ago, but it's worth noting a couple of things, and I might get you to zoom in here for my cameraman, but this has gone through our initial phase of quality control. So you can see these markings here on, on the touchscreen, on the leather wrap steering wheel, and actually, I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera, but actually the little scratches here on the instrument cluster. Now that's an important part of our QC process. So the vehicles come in, we identify all of the marks. These ones are quite evident, but actually throughout the entire body. So not only are we going to convert this vehicle from left-hand drive to right-hand drive, but we're going to fix all of those issues. So it's a 2-year-old car. It's done actually not a lot of kilometers, to be perfectly fair, but part of our conversion process, we've got a paint shop, 20 odd boys in our paint shop, so we will ensure that every little minor scratch or dint or nick, etc., are all fixed. When it comes to the instrument cluster, the glass or plastic will be replaced, all of those sorts of things. So the whole point of our exercise is not just to convert the vehicle from left-hand drive to right-hand drive, he says as he revs the car, but to ensure that when you get the vehicle, it is absolutely perfect. Perfect. And it's extraordinary. And if you look at some of our other videos, we're starting to show people more and more how we go about converting the vehicles from left-hand drive to right-hand drive. But remember this moment, wait for a month or so by the time we produce the second video when these things are going to be in right-hand drive, and we'll do a bit of a comparison between the two. But what I promise you is that they are perfect. And they're perfect because, again, 30 years, 180 people, 4,500 vehicles we've converted. We know what we're doing. We do not dick around. We've got the team, we have the technology, we have the experience. And most importantly, we have the compliance. So if you want to drive one of these, as I said before, in Australia or the UK, then we are the ones that are able to do it for you. And that is quite hard. That's not a thing of going, oh yes, we've got this certificate, that certificate. That's bullshit. You need to have ISO 9001 2015. We've been doing that for 21 years. It's in our DNA, but it's all about the technical compliance. So the ability to be able to legally import these vehicles, say for example, into Australia. So when you see this Dodge Challenger SRT Widebody Hellcat red eye in the streets of Australia somewhere in a few months' time, you know exactly where it came from. It came from us at Auto Group. Now, I'm not sure we really needed to show you the interior for the other one, but I just wanted to do, foot on brake, Rob, to do this. But there is just something about it. I mean, I'm not sure if you can actually hear me over the sound of the 797 horsepower screaming, but you can see here a few different options. So this has got the Alcantara, the red leather seats, which is absolutely spectacular. No sunroof, suede headliner. Again, this has got just under 5,000 kilometers on the clock. So come back to that point, that was what, 6.5? Go back, you can work it out, I've forgotten already. But you can get a couple-year-old, incredibly good condition, Challenger Hellcats, in this case red-eye wide bodies, for a sortable, sensible financial cost, that we can source them, ship them, convert them, and then send them to you. And then you get to go and pick the kids up from school, or go shopping, or I don't know, just go to the pub and do this. Warning clearly on these cars, 797 horsepower in a muscle car is an absolute weapon. So they go quick, they are slippery, even in a dry condition it's easy to put them sideways. Definitely very easy to go through lots of tires, but then that's why you buy a muscle car. So I'm going to call it a wrap. If you are interested in buying a muscle car, whether it's a Dodge Challenger or a Chev Camaro, brand new, 1, 2, 3 years old, no matter where you live, in what right-hand drive country, then you know what you need to do. Subscribe to our channel, hit us up, send us an email, give us a phone call, hit us up on WhatsApp, check us out on LinkedIn, Insta, all the other social media areas. But talk to us about your dream muscle car and how we can make your muscle car dream come true. That's it. Cheers. Thank you.